Hello everybody and welcome back to the Crypto Potluck. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm sorry for the absence. I have been juggling a lot behind the scenes, but there's a lot that's been going on, but there's a lot to come. And yeah, I thank you guys for your patience. So with that, there is so much in the market going on today, and we're going to really be breaking down Bitcoin in general, and there's a few key market movers that I really want to warn you guys about because I think that this is very, very important to watch. I've been outlining for over 6 months now that November is going to be the breakout time of cryptocurrency, and it's going to be the time that you're really going to be watching the markets because everything is going to happen at one time, and we're already seeing the domino effect take place. So what am I referencing? So let's talk about Bitcoin in general. So Bitcoin, you know, we are playing within the wedge. It has been relatively very, very, very quiet. I am expecting a breakout any day now. I think at the start of November, we're really going to start to see movement within the cryptocurrency industry. And I think that that is because of other outside markets and what is really going on. I'm not going to spend too much time really looking into the Bitcoin graph because as my approach is I base my trading off of news and outside markets, and I use that in relation to see where cryptocurrency is going to go. Now, as far as what outside markets should you be looking at, okay, I think one of the main ones that you guys need to have up right away is the Dow Jones. I have been calling since the top, and I warned you guys, and if you guys haven't checked out, I have a video basically calling the collapse of cryptocurrency and calling the little bit of a jump that pushed us right above the wedge with Bitcoin. But as far as the Dow Jones is concerned, we continue to consolidate, okay? And we have broken from this main wedge, which is very scary, and there are 3 areas that I want to highlight to you guys that you guys need to be looking at as far as the stock market is concerned. As far as where we are at, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can gain a little bit more perspective. But as this is concerned, the green line is something where I think that we can start to expect a bounce between the green and the yellow. That is the most optimistic scenario, is hopefully get a bounce, but I do not think it's going to be sustainable. And what I am looking at is historically, if we really start to zoom out, we can really get an overall trend of what we have been able to hold. And that's why I put this red line. This is going to be the end is here line. If we start breaking from this, that is really going to be scary. So as far as this is concerned, as I said, I think that we're going to continue to see a consolidation from here, hopefully get a bounce, and then we could honestly just break down again and then hit here before saving ourselves. That would be the best case scenario, and then from this line, we use this to start gaining some more momentum. Or even better is if we can hold this yellow and green line, and if we can actually stay above this area. I think if you're looking at the stock market, anywhere in this general area should be an area to start making your first play, and then your second play could be at the red line in support of this. So that is just one aspect of what is going on and what is causing this fall. I've outlined over and over again a lot of the different scenarios, and I'm not going to rehash a lot of it because I've already gone over it a lot. And I'm going to try to make this a short, I guess, live stream. But as far as some indicators that I'm looking at, I find this very interesting. We're going to go to Alphabet, which is Google. You know, it's got a relatively large candle, but it continues to consolidate. This, in my mind, shows me that we are going to expect some more consolidation as far as Alphabet is concerned. And I think that there's another huge player in the old tech sector, which could also make that argument. So I think that the cause of the Dow Jones and a lot of aspects is because of tech in general, and the old tech is getting replaced with the new tech. So let's talk about the old tech, right? So I'm going to make a quick run over to Facebook once again, and this is where I told you guys the breakdown. So this is the area which we are breaking down. I'm going to change the color because it's not a green. But as we can see here, we're broken down, and this is just not looking good for Facebook in general. So, and think about it, you know, as far as news is concerned, and if you really want to look into retrospect of technology, Facebook and Google are holding the same stances in how they are really approaching a lot of political issues, and they are becoming a lot more political in nature. And I think that you're seeing the markets really not like how they are operating in general. So with that, we are seeing their market caps diminish. So outside of that, there is one tech company which, out of Facebook, Google, and you know, they actually have gone to Congress. You know, they've actually stated, yes, there is a liberal-leaning bias in our industry, and we are trying to fix it. Now, for this reason, I think that this is honestly giving a point for where we are, Twitter. So if we go to Twitter, yeah, look at this bounce on Twitter, right? So this is a huge difference. If you want to look at old tech, right, and you want to see which stocks are bouncing where other ones aren't, I think that this is a lot more healthy. You are seeing the nice run in volume, but you're also seeing momentum come in price. So this gives me a little bit of confidence in how the CEO has actually been able to operate, even though I have had a few gripes with him in the past. I think in general, Twitter, as far as old tech is concerned, is holding up stronger than the other tech industries. So that's just one perspective, but I want to bring out some other indicators which I really think are more important in really talking about the domino effect and why all of these markets are really taking a huge hit and beating right now. So I think the next thing to really dive into is going to be FTSE MIB index. Okay, if you don't know what that is, this is Italy's basically top 50 companies, and basically you can see that it's taken a huge hit. And if you do not follow news, and if you do not follow outside markets and what is really going on in relation to politics, you might not notice, you know, other small countries because you're only focused on the country that you're in or whatever. But the issue with Italy, okay, is because Italy is at a key point where they are having a banking crisis kind of go on, and they're really battling tit for tat with the EU. Now, if you dive into Italy's politics in general and how they have taken a different approach, if you look at Europe, there are really two main factors when it comes to politics. You have really the socialists, and that's what we would call them in the US, and then you would also have, you know, it's the nationalist is the best way to put it. And Italy has gone towards the nationalist. You can see that with how they are going about the immigration and how they stopped it and how they're really being strict on that front. But you're also seeing, you know, them really battle the EU in a lot of aspects. And where we are at is we already have Brexit and what has happened with the UK, and in my opinion, the next country in line for a Brexit-like breakout from the EU is going to be Italy. Now, this is huge in a lot of regards, and if this does happen, and if it continues to go this way, this could have a huge effect on the overall economy. And as I'm going to outline through everything else that is going on, all you need is for one domino to happen and everything else is just going to continue to tumble. And that worries me in prep of a recession or depression. So as far as Italy is concerned, you know, they are having issues with their banking system, and they proposed that they want to change some policy, and they're sending it up to the EU. The EU denied it, and you're seeing basically the old Prime Minister of Italy basically reveal his end-all option and basically say that, you know, you guys need to go back into the EU, you can't be doing this, and you're really having a battle, and it's not looking good. Now, if you're looking for more insight and more in-depth on this topic, there are a bunch of articles that you can read on it. I would go really in-depth into it, but I'm not going to spend my time really diving into it in this particular live stream, but I will leave you with this, okay? There is a small content creator who I find very, very insightful, who has done amazing work, but he does an awesome video talking about the going nuclear the EU has already lost versus Italy. His name is Tom Lango. I really suggest checking him out. Check out this video in general, and if you're looking to stay up on news, you can tell if somebody's really putting their all into it. And just from the first video that I found and actually diving into the dude's website and how he and keeps up with everything. This guy's putting a lot of work into his craft and really just trying to get news out. And I really want to invite more and new perspectives, and I think it's really valuable. So really good video to check out. Highly suggested. I included it in my personal Discord in the news area where we post news information. So go there and check it out. So outside of that, let's talk about a few other areas. The next one that we're going to be talking about is going to be Saudi Arabia, okay? Saudi Arabia, you know, with the journalist thing, they're having a little bit of a battle with what is going on in that area. We are positioning where, you know, we don't know what's going to come next. There is a huge arms deal on the table between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. That, in retrospect, really wouldn't hurt Saudi Arabia, but it would hurt the U.S. in a huge way. And with the U.S. being a military complex, and with the deal with Saudi Arabia and the military and how much they spent on buying arms being a total of $120 billion or something ridiculous like that, it came out to be 600,000 jobs is basically dependent on this deal. So that is a huge impact on the U.S. economy, and these are really, really good paying jobs. So I don't know how they're going to maneuver this situation, and I don't know if they're going to put any sanctions against Saudi Arabia, but you're definitely seeing big players like Uber and a bunch of other players in Saudi Arabia pull out of their new, I guess, awakening, where they're trying to take Saudi Arabia into the new age of technology and make it not just a dependent on oil, you know, country. So a lot of companies pulled out in that regard, but what is interesting is a lot of companies from Russia and China, they jumped in right away to take the place. So they didn't care. They were all in. So I don't know what's going to happen in this regard, but I do just want to put down that Saudi Arabia has been tumbling, but we are seeing a nice jump, and it is looking more healthy than the U.S. As their stock market really is outlining. So outside of that, I think that the last one that I really want to look at is the Chinese stock market, right? So just from a quick run over, we can see that the stock market of China has taken a large hit. I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring it up in a different graph, but it really doesn't work with trading view for some reason, but if you dive into it and you actually go into the logistics, you know, China has not been in such a bad place for such a long time. Since Donald Trump was elected, it has just been a downhill slide for China in general. It has lost over about 20% from its highs of the beginning of the year, and it hasn't been able to recover or push up in any regards. So as far as limiting risk, I think one avenue might be, you might start wanting to be looking at, you know, Chinese markets in some regards, because it has taken such a long hit in such an extended time, and you're really starting to see the hit in the US markets, and then the hit in the EU, especially if the situation with Italy continues. Who is really going to benefit from this chaos? And it's going to be Russia, it's going to be China, it's going to be, it's kind of like a battle between, you know, different countries still, even though, you know, even though we're not directly at war or anything like that, it's economic warfare, is what I would like to call it. So as far as all of this, you know, what do you do? Where do you put your money? There's a lot on the table right now, and it's all lining up for November, the midterms, everything else. It's really at a key point. I think after the midterms, we'll gain a little bit more stability as far as the Dow Jones is concerned in the stock market, but that's just from my perspective. Hopefully that could be the leverage point for us to start gaining momentum again in the Dow Jones, and that would line up, you know, with this, where we could have, you know, that turnaround at, you know, the green and yellow line. Now, outside of that, we're still, you know, we're still lining up with BTC. I think if you're trying to hedge your investments and if you're trying to play it safe, cryptocurrency, and the one to be looking at is going to be Bitcoin. And I'm just going to say this because you could look at the altcoin market, and yes, there are a few gems within the altcoin market, and the altcoin market is high risk, high reward. But if you're looking at the one that is going to shoot off first, the one that is going to move everything, it is going to be Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin moves, that's going to be the one to hold. And from my past experience, whenever you watch, because I've gone through the December rally, I went through this crazy momentum time. The altcoin market didn't follow. During this time, it didn't follow. It followed after the fact, and whenever you saw this consolidation, at the end of it, then you started to see, you know, the altcoin market really take off. So that's what I'm just going to say in regards to this next run that we are prepping for. If Bitcoin does start to break off and does start to try to make crazy returns or crazy highs, especially if chaos, FOMO, and FUD enter in the markets, everybody and their grandma, they're going to see the fall of the markets, the fall of the stock market, the fall of everything else, and they're going to be going to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be the first thing everybody's going to go into, and then hopefully after you get the exuberant run in Bitcoin, then you'll get the consolidation, and during the consolidation period, that's when you start looking for altcoins, once you get way too exuberant in price with Bitcoin. So outside of that, if you have money in the stock market, my best suggestion, which has been solid, and go through my history. It's all open on YouTube to see, but I would have to say gold. Gold is going to be the one asset that is going to continue to climb slowly. This is not like cryptocurrency. You don't make 20% in a day, but the thing is how do you limit your risk, okay? Risk reward, and you have to hedge your investments. And the thing to be hedging right now is clearly gold. We called in clearly at an amazing point. We called in at the bottom of the floor with gold. Since then, we have seen, I think we're up to 6%, or maybe just 5 or 4. So we're up to 4. Like I said, this is a slow mover, all right? And I would not expect crazy returns, but I'm telling you that over time, okay, this is going to continue to rise. And the two things is, as chaos hits, people, they love their gold, you know what I mean? And especially the older generation, I don't know what it is with them, but they really do love their gold. And especially if there's a recession or anything like that, gold is in limited supply. Another thing, and just in general, we're getting close to December. December is a month where people buy gold in general. So I would wait this out. I would, you know, just be holding on to gold, especially if you took my advice in the beginning. Hold on to it until we get to December. And I think December is the point where if all this chaos is going on within the markets, and if you have positions in gold, you can use that as your limited risk, and you can enter in some of the chaos and some of the awesome deals that are going to be prepped, you know, from the consolidation of all the other markets. And that's really how you make money. You know, it's all a waiting game. It has to be strategic. Now, if you guys have not, I got to tell you, you have to join our Discord. We have an amazing Discord community, and we are sharing communities on like information on there. I haven't been as up to date as I usually am, but I'm going through chaos myself as far as a bunch of personal situations. I'm having to go out to Texas for a little bit, but I'll be returning, and then I'll be back on a more normal schedule. But just in general, you know, it's just been a lot. But I'm getting it done, and I'm excited to see what comes next. Yeah, jump in the Discord. I'll answer any questions if you want to talk about this or anything else. Would love to have you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, because we are growing. We're almost to 2,000 subscribers. I'm really excited to break it, and I know with your help, as you guys share and continue to word of mouth, it's not like I can, you know, spread my word through Facebook or Twitter or all these other platforms that basically block blockchain related content, and you're not really to advertise blockchain or cryptocurrency related content. So everything I do is word of mouth. So share, try to inform people that you love about what is going on, and just, you know, I appreciate it. But with that, at the end of the day, you guys are your own investors. Thank you for watching, and thank you for making the Crypto Potluck what it is.